Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney if it's your first time clicking on one of my videos. So today I wanted to talk about something that I recently picked up. I've been really nostalgic lately when it comes to like gaming consoles, and I've just been looking a lot more at consoles that I didn't get the chance to try out when they first were released. I picked up a PSP 2000, but this released in the early 2000s. This is the Japanese edition with the Sakura Pink. I found this on Mercari secondhand, and I paid how much? It was like $100, like $100 on Mercari. There's like some good deals on there, but I just suggest that you take a look at the pictures like very closely. This one came in pretty decent condition. It's like maybe slight scratches on it. The screen is actually pretty good. I still want to open this up. A bit just so I can clean it out a bit. I'm happy that I picked this up because I actually haven't had any. I know I mostly talk about Nintendo Switch things on here because that's like my biggest console that I've gotten recently. And like I've always been a Nintendo fan since the Game Boy Color, so it's my bias. I really want to get more into other gaming consoles, so I figured starting with the PSP would be the perfect start, especially handheld consoles, and I'm just happy that it came in pink. So I picked up a few games for this console so far, and I also have a wish list of games that I want to try later. I got some suggestions on my Instagram too of like games I should pick up for the PSP, so I'm like really excited to be able to share with you guys. Maybe you guys like have suggestions for me, or you know, maybe I will inspire you to pick up a PSP because the PSP 2000s actually didn't seem to be going for too much online. I think it's the PS Vita. I want a PS Vita next, but I've seen that going for a little bit more, but not too crazy priced. But yeah, so let's go into the games that I have so far and some of my wishlist games. So first I got Sims 2, and I played Sims 2 on my Nintendo DS way back in the day. I got this, I think this is a similar story, Sims 2, to the one that I played on my DS because it's something about being stranded in a town. But I think the gameplay I played a little bit of the beginning, and the gameplay seems a little bit more, there's like a little bit more gameplay than on the DS. I really love the DS version because I played it a lot, and it's just like, it's more like an RPG than like an actual Sims game. There's just like a lot of like finding secret storylines and like interacting with all of the characters that are in this like town called Strange Town, and I just really like enjoyed that so much, and I'm like really happy to get into this one because this one seems similar, and I just like the idea of like RPG Sims because they're just like really funny. This next one is like my really big nostalgic vibe because Twisted Metal Head On. So I used to watch my uncle play Twisted Metal when I was a kid, and like it was like a low-key terrifying game to me, but I was also so interested in all of the back storylines. I can't remember which Twisted Metal he played, but I do know that it kind of cemented my terror of clowns. Because of the main clown guy in that one. I don't even remember his name. I think his name was Happy, but I think that's just something I'm making up. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching my uncle play Twisted Metal, and when I saw it was on PSP, I was like, I need to pick it up. And I played a little bit of it, and like all the like nostalgic feels from like just playing like the little bit that I did just to make sure the game was working. But I'm really enjoying like collecting, like finding games for the PSP in handheld mode, and like even just looking up the types of games that are available for it. It seemed like the games for the PSP basically were just ported over from the PlayStation to the PSP, and I think that is pretty cool that PlayStation came out with a PSP at the time that it did, because like it was ahead of its time, especially considering how like the Nintendo Switch kind of runs similar to the PSP, but I mean without the PSP doesn't have the compatibility of being on the TV, but it still has that same idea, and I think that that's really cool. And I kind of wish the PSP had chugged on a little bit longer. I feel like the Sony should definitely come out with like a new handheld console because I would definitely purchase it. But the next one is Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I'm super excited to be able to play some Tomb Raider games because I got to play was it Rise of the Tomb Raider on PlayStation 4. I don't have a PlayStation 4. It actually was a borrowed PlayStation from my niece that I was playing on, but like I still didn't get to finish it because I got stuck on one part in that game, and like I want to someday like revisit. I'm actually trying to get a PlayStation 4 for myself, and I think Lovecraft is just like such an iconic like lead female character in video games, and I just love the whole franchise. And I also there's another Tomb Raider game, I can't remember what it's called, but there's another Tomb Raider, I think it's Tomb Raider Legends, also available for the PSP, and I want to pick that one up next. So yeah, I'm happy to be able to collect some more Tomb Raider games. I kind of hope that they come out with a new Tomb Raider game, or even I was hoping they port some old Tomb Raider games over to the Switch. That was a rumor I heard, but it still hasn't happened, but maybe eventually. The other game I got is Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops Plus, and I have never played a Metal Gear Solid game, but this is also another game that I watched my uncle play before, and like yeah, I was probably too young to sit and watch these semi-violent games but I always got my eyes covered up when it was at the worst parts. But I've always wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 2 because, you know, it's like one of those franchises that you always hear so much about. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to play somewhere, like to play on the PSP, and like that I was even able to find it. It was like my random impulse buy when I saw it on sale, Macari. The last game that I have right now so far is Crisis Core, which is like would it be like a story? The case is a little beat up. But I got Crisis Core, which is like a extension of Final Fantasy VII, and I'm kind of obsessed with collecting Final Fantasy games right now, so that leads to like my wishlist games. So like there's a lot of Final Fantasy games available on PSP as well, so I want to collect Final Fantasy 1 to 4 that I see that's available on there, and I've been looking on eBay mostly and like seeing that they're like going for not bad prices. That's the other thing about like PSP games, is that I guess because it's not as in demand as like Nintendo games, like I've seen some of these, like those games I got for less than like $20 or so, or like I would say less than $30 for each game, which I think is pretty awesome because like there has been such a big upsurge on Nintendo games right now that it's kind of like refreshing, even though I mean I just like collecting, so but yeah, it is refreshing to be able to find like decent prices on eBay again, which is like one of my favorite things. I like good deals. I don't like paying full price for games, and I like enjoy being able to collect and also save money. But some other games that I want to purchase for the PSP that I got like some suggestions. Let me look at get my list. So other games that I wanted to collect are My Third Birthday. I'm not really sure what it's about. I actually never heard of this game before, but it sounds really interesting. I looked at a little bit of the gameplay. I've been seeing it online, like, but it's a Japanese import. So I've been thinking about picking up the Japanese import since it's been like really cheap. But I don't really know about the English translation when it comes to like Japanese imports. But the good thing about the PSP is that it's region free, so it doesn't matter like on that one is I have a Japanese console, but it also plays US games. But the only thing that it doesn't play is US movies. But I mean, I'm not gonna be watching movies on the PSP. I'm gonna be honest. Another Final Fantasy. There's 2 other Final Fantasy games that I wanted to pick up. So there's Dissidia, I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but Dissidia, which is like a fighter for Final Fantasy, and there's also Final Fantasy Tactics, which I always hear so much about Final Fantasy Tactics games, so I kind of want to collect. I think there's like one on the 3DS as well. There's another game called Gruelman, but it's like a RPG, a JRPG, and I've been like checking out prices for that one too, like to pick it up. But it's a JRPG about a little girl, and that's pretty much most of the premise that I've read about it. The next one is God of War. There's a God of War game on the PSP, and it looks really cool. And I also want to play God of War on PlayStation, so that's like another franchise that I want to get into. There's like there's so many games that I want to play and not enough time, honestly. Oh, and this one is like my ultimate like top game that I want to get is the Grand Theft Auto games on PSP. There's one that I have been wanting to collect on the Nintendo DS that is also on PSP called the Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. I'm also thinking about Vice City Stories because it's making me like nostalgic for Miami, which is like where I'm from. So like I really want to play some of the Grand Theft Auto games, and I think that it'll be like so cool to be able to play it on a PSP. And the last game, which is like a platformer, is Daxter, and I think that looks so much fun. It kind of reminds me, it looks like Spyro, it reminds me of. I've actually never heard of Daxter before, but it looks like Spyro and it looks like it'll be cool to play. I'm just really like, again, I'm like really excited to collect on this console, just because like it's really nostalgic, you know. It's like a lot of consoles that I didn't get to play when I was a kid, and I'm just happy to be able to find them now, to be able to like add them to my, even if it's to my backlog. Yeah, I hope this helps any of you guys who are looking for a PSP, or if you're just, you know, like trying to think about if you want to collect for this console. And also give me suggestions of games on the PSP, because I would gladly hear. Of course, as always, I like really interacting with all of you guys, and like, you know, having another platform to be able to talk about video games, which I'm clearly very passionate about. But yeah, I hope all of you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are, you know, staying safe and everything, and have a wonderful day, you guys, and bye.